Hello, this is how to download and run TexStudio, which is an editor for LaTeX documents. One thing to remember, there's a LaTeX kernel that code and commands are sent to. It crunches those codes and commands and then sends them back to the editor. So editor is like a graphical user interface with the kernel. So we'll have to have two downloads to run TexStudio, and create LaTeX documents. Okay, so if you search TexStudio, one word, and the first thing that pops up is a link to this, and then you can download it. It's very fast. It took 10 seconds on my slow machine, and I say that because I'm going to illustrate something in a second. So we assume that it's now downloaded. And I mentioned that we had to have a kernel. And one of the most common ones is MikTeX. And this is the kernel. You can also use it as an editor too, but I find TexStudio more helpful. And there's actually other editors which will create videos for if you prefer another editor. So this is MikTeX, and it's the kernel. It's the number or the code cruncher for LaTeX, and you just click on, you search MikTeX and it brings you here and download. Now this page can be a little confusing because it throws in advertisements and you have to be careful not to click on those. It's this little blue button and it downloads it. Now MikTeX advertises that they're a minimal installation. And so it only took my machine, 30 seconds to download it and install it, and everything is fine. And you don't appreciate the minimal extension until you download the other kernel called TexLive. Now this one, so when you are creating LaTeX documents, you use certain packages that it provides certain features that you can use in a LaTeX document. And of course, we're going to discuss these in later videos. But if you use a package that's not known and you try to run it, then it goes to MikTeX, finds the package, brings it back, which takes an extra, on my machine, 20 seconds. But then once you have it loaded, then it's always fast after that. And I think that's what the minimal installation means, is that it creates a very small footprint, but if you need something more, it goes and grabs it and brings it back. So MikTeX is one of the kernels you can install. Now, I used to use MikTeX for years and years until its latest release, and it stopped allowing me to run what's called no-web files. And a no-web file is a way to create a LaTeX document that incorporates our coding seamlessly into the document itself. And somehow they've disabled that feature in MikTeX. So I had to remove it and download TexStudio. Okay. So not TexStudio, TexLive. TexLive is the kernel for LaTeX. So if you search TexLive, and it's one of the first things that in your search command that you pull up, and then you can download, for me, the Windows version of this. If you have another computer, read it in more detail and download the correct one. Now on my machine, when I go to download this, it says, whoa, are you sure you want to download this? This isn't a common thing, we think, for your machine. And so I had to override it and tell it, yes, install it. Now, on my slow machine, that's what I referenced earlier, it took about 4 or 5 hours to download. But then I have everything ready. So if I want to use a new package, it's very fast. So there's a huge upfront cost as opposed to downloading MikTeX. Now, if you don't plan on using no web files, then MikTeX is probably a much quicker and painless installation than TexLive. but I've been using no web files for so long, I don't want to quit. And so I had to install TexLive. Now, once TexStudio and one of the kernels, either MikTeX or TexLive, is downloaded, then you just, oh, it's opening another window here. You open TexStudio, and it's smart enough to know to find one or the other. You don't have, or I didn't have to set it up for that. Now it looks like it remembered the last document I used here. So let's go into File. From a new template. And these are the templates. Probably the most common ones for me are Article, Beamer. Beamer is Latex version of PowerPoint. Oh, and it creates beautiful slides. I've used Letter and Book. But let's click Article and then click OK. And it creates a template over here. Let's see if I can increase that. Yep. And so it always starts with the document class, and I clicked Article. There might be Beamer there. You can, in these square brackets are for options. So if you want to create a 12-point font, and we'll discuss those in later videos. But this is the structure of an article. So the title, first document, and if you don't, well, let me show you. So the abstract, and then let's say that's a section. And then what you do up here, there's the two little green arrows. And if you hold your cursor still, it gives you the shortcut of F5. I'm not sure if you can see it on yours. So I try not to take my hands from the keyboard and do things, meaning grab the mouse, come click double arrow. I just click F5. And then below here is if you have error codes, or if it runs normally, then you can see those results. And if you look over here, it's my first document, my name, and then it renders the date that you created this. And then it creates an abstract and then an introduction. So let's say we don't want the date. Oh, then we can do this, and we want to create a new page for our document. Then I'm clicking F5 and it runs, and now we have the title, we have a quick abstract, and then on the next page it starts the introduction. So notice the one, maybe we don't want to number our document, so we put in an asterisk. Now I click F5 and run it again, and it took away the numbering system. And this is a quick introduction to it. Now we'll do more videos. There's going to be several videos, and the next one will probably be how to install Overleaf. Oop. So I'm copying and pasting that back there. Overleaf is great when you're writing an article with several authors. So I hit F5 and it starts a new section and a new words in it. Okay, that's all for today. I'm going to try to keep these videos at 10 minutes or less, and we're just under that. So stay tuned.